Hello there. This is Cindy at cindybdesigns.com. Thank you for joining me today. The card on the left is my sample card. The card on the right is what we've been making. I stepped it up a little bit and we are going to go through that. There's another angle and I'm going to show you the inside too. To not be afraid to emboss the inside of your cards, the center of it. So here we go. That is using gray granite with the new Magenta Madness. Lots of paper pumpkin materials on here of the linen thread, even though that's in the catalog, but those sequins are left over, and that's what we look like. I'm going back to Tasteful Touches. I'm bringing in the Birds&More die set for that sprig that I'm pointing out there on the right because it is large. I'm also bringing in the greenery from embossing folder from Forever Greenery. And I'm going to put that right over there where you just saw on the left. Again, I'm going to step the card up a little bit. And that is the largest stitch rectangles frame. So I'm going to speed it up here probably in a minute or so. But our colors today are going to be real simple. Memento Tuxedo Black with Cinnamon Cider, a new in color. Our card base is going to be a top folding A2, 4 1/4 by 5.5. We're going to need 3 pieces of very vanilla cardstock, just regular. They are cut to 4 1/4 by 5.5. And then I pulled in our 6x6 Settles DSP and a strip of 4 1/4 by an inch soft sea foam. 2 punches, butterfly duet, and the triple banner. I put our little image there and the feather on blocks. There's some of the adhesive that we'll be using. The twine that you see rolled up there, paper pumpkin. Like I said, even though I have it, I use up my paper pumpkin. And you hear me talk about that a lot, so you want to subscribe. First thing I'm going to do is take the largest rectangle from Stitch Rectangles dies and cut out 2 pieces just like that from very vanilla cardstock. Again, that is regular and not thick. And then go ahead and pull it out. I run it back and forth twice because I did not put down the magnetic base plate, and I've really abused, this die over the years. So it's probably a little bit kind of dull. So I, give myself a little bit of insurance that way to make sure it comes out really easy on me. And as you can see, there we are, and we're doing good. So we're going to get like a lot of the big shot work out of the way right now. And I am bringing in our little sprig from the Birds&More die cut. And I'm putting that way over to the left because I need to use the rest of the cardstock to get our sentiment down. And once again, I'm taking that back and forth, and it comes out really easy. I have a couple pieces left over, and I'm going to take my pokey tool and get them out. Next up, I'm bringing in our leftover piece of very vanilla cardstock. I have not used cinnamon cider before on any project, so I'm stamping it out 1, 2, 3, 4 times, or stamping it off to see which color I want at the bottom right, and it was stamped off, 4 times, and that worked out because I didn't want anything super dark. So the greenery folder, I'm going to do some partial embossing here. Look where I put the top die cut plate. That way it will not emboss anywhere underneath that. And all I wanted was the top done. And you have this beautiful work in there that really adds a lot to your card there. So I'm going to, skip intro. And I have no idea why I'm out of frame. It's frustrating. You may see it differently. Decided to use the feather image in full strength, and I'm going to stamp that down again with Cinnamon Cider, which is a new in color this year. And I'm going to put the same panel in Stamparatus, pulling back in Tasteful Touches to get my sentiment down. That's going to be put down in Memento Tuxedo Black. And I'm ready to sneeze here. I'm sorry. My contacts are fogging up. It is so humid. And I'm going to lay that down 3 times, and that is going to be a super tight cut, which is going to end up being 2 inches across by 1 inch down, actually 3/4 of an inch, because our banner is going to be 1 inch that you see the punch on the left. And I'm pulling in our 6x6 Sellers DSP, and I'm going to punch out that small butterfly from the butterfly duet punch, and then that's how you open up our punches. Just slip that little notch up, and there's our banner. Now this paper trimmer, if you signed up with me last month, you should have it. This month you get a free bundle, so definitely take advantage of that because I use that trimmer all the time. And now I'm going to line everything up and size it up, and as we progress here, you're going to see why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I want the banner or the sentiment to hang over all the way on the left, with the banner being more so towards the right. With this image, the feather, you've seen me fussy cut out before from vellum a couple weeks ago. Easiest thing to do in the world. I'm not a big fussy cut fan either, but it does work out here, and it's super easy to do. And again, turn your paper, not the blade and the scissors. So I'm bringing in the Stampin' trimmer, and I'm going to score that butterfly right down the middle. You just give it, a crease for the wings. And that is what our little panel is looking like. Now, I'm going to stop this real quick and slow it down. If you see how I'm cutting up there, I'm taking the far right side and lining it up with the left side and getting those little teeny tiny triangle images, not images, from the Stampin' Dimensionals, because they're going to go on the back of the leaves there. And you see me run my pokey tool down the center of Stampin' Dimensionals before. It helps the release paper come off quicker. So I'm putting down 8 on the back there. I'm going to go ahead and take off the backings from that. Bring in our cinnamon cider top folding A2 base, and then line that up from top to bottom, left to right. So moving on here, that is our little, I'm going to call it a sprig. That's how I'm putting those dimensionals down there, because it is small but not too tedious, because I'm doing it and I'm lazy. I'm a lazy crafter. I mean, really lazy. So got them all down, pulled the backings off of it and set it aside. Or no, I didn't do that, but we're coming up on that. So I'm going to start to assemble the card a little bit here, put all my elements down, and measuring up the sentiment parts. Got to get that right, because the way I chose to lay it down. I've been experimenting with different card sketches lately, just to not be so boring and keep myself challenged. Again, the sentiment, I went all the way over to the left on the card base with the soft seafoam, lining up where the stitch rectangle is. So I marked it on the back, and I'm going to cut it. And if I remember, it's like 2 1/4 across by 1 inch. And the sentiment is 3/4 of an inch widthwise. I think it's like 1 by 3/4. I'll measure it. Check cindybdesigns.com, link underneath, to have everything there for you. So, brought back in my Stamparatus like I always do. Fantastic tool, invaluable. I'm putting Tombow Mono on the back of our little banner flag there with some tweezers, making sure that it, is straight from top to bottom, left to right, over towards the left-hand side of our stitch rectangle. That's very vanilla. I'm going to take Stampin' Dimensionals, put them on the back, and I did this on my sample card too. I put one over on the far left where I shouldn't have done that. Got to pull it off because that is going to hang over, and I don't need, any height there. Using the pokey tool to go ahead and do that. So on the right side and in the middle, that's where you want to put your Stampin' Dimensionals. I'm going to peel them off, and then line it up just like that, as you can see, top to bottom and left to right, as I described before. And there we are. It's just a little something different for your card. I'm going to apply Tampa Mono to the back of our little cinnamon cider feather there. It has a natural right angle to it, so I just laid it down straight with that. And that is what the back of our spread looks like. And I'm peeling off those teeny tiny little dimensional adhesive thingies or backings, and I'm laying that down, and I'm looking at it. It's like, this is way too vanilla to be blunt, like literally very vanilla to be blunt. Those adhesive dots, they're from a paper pumpkin kit, and on the sample card I used 2 or 3 different elements from that. With this card I'm using just pretty much a thread and the glue dots, but again, I cannot strongly stress to you enough to subscribe to this. I use it year-round for everything. I'm pulling off just the length of linen thread there. I'm going to pull off 2 of them. My nails are a little bit long, so I always struggle tying bows anyway. It's just now kind of taken to another extreme because the nails are too long, but I'm still so grateful that I have them, so yeah. I'm going to tie that into a bow, get everything lined up, and this is what I mean by shopping your stash. That is all I have in my entire stamp collection. That is it. That's all I work with. Those are my dies. And then coming up, I have the punches. You make it work. You shop your catalog, what you have, you highlight it, and you shop your stash. And I cannot stress that enough because I'm a total minimalist. There's a story behind that. So I'm forming up the bow right now, and I'm going to get that down on the dimensionals and then trim off the ends. And the rest is like pretty much self-explanatory. Everybody has their own minimal thing and their own vision as far as what they want to work with, what they see when they see different products. That's just how I am. I've had 4 kids and moved across the country several different times, and hauling that stuff around, and even personally, just done with it. So last minute, I decided to bring in our metallic pearls in the gold, just to, skip intro again, church it up a little bit and add something to it like I did the sequins with our other card there. So I hope that all of you are doing well. Don't forget my buy one, get one free going on. Again, there'll be a link underneath here. This is going to go up on Wednesday, on the 17th. And thank you, by the way, for all my birthday cards, because I will be 57 on the 18th, and I have no idea how I got here. But I do appreciate your thoughts and everything like that. But I needed something to pull out the color a little bit more with all of that. So I hope that you're all doing great. If you need anything, please email me at cindy@cindybdesigns.com. That is our card. I will have another video for you on Saturday. But I felt so bad, again, about last week, losing 3 minutes there. There is our sample. So God bless, and thank you for joining me today. And have a fantastic day. And I will see you again on Saturday.